Good evening, YouTube viewers and subscribers. Are you ready to see something really special? I mean, super special? No, not this. It's the whole thing. Check this beauty out. This is an OS 61 FSR Special Edition. Now, I just got this off of RC Groups, and it did not come with this exhaust. It was sold to me without an exhaust, but luckily the Enya 60HF Mark III engine that I got from Ray had this engine or this muffler on there, so it just so happens to be a perfect fit for this. Now, this is an engine, obviously a 61 size 2-stroke, that's going to be included in my 60 size 2-stroke comparison videos that are upcoming. This is an engine that really it's not as old as the FSR engine itself. I believe from what I've read that the special edition was kind of like a swan song or a last hurrah for the OS FSR engine, and they made a limited number of these at the end of the production life for this engine. Now, this particular engine came to me without the muffler and no screws on the back plate. So I just had a back plate, no screws on it, no big deal. I got screws. And it came with this carb, which is rather unusual because it is a 7M carb. Now if you look at this thing, it's got all kinds of controls on here. You got the high-speed needle, your mixture screw. God, I don't remember what they said this one was. This is the throttle stop screw. So the thing is, this carb I don't think actually came on this engine. So I don't think I've got an original engine here, because when I was looking at OS's website, and I'll just keep rotating this so you can see how nice this engine is. This carb was only from their website and their manufacturing timeline. I only saw this carb ever on 3 of the engines that were on their manufacturing timeline, and they were all from 1986. One was a Healy engine, and one was a 61 SF. Oh, I can't remember what the other one was. But at least 2 of those 3 engines were pumped engines. So, I think what this engine actually came with originally was a 7L carb. I'm not entirely sure. So it's going to be interesting to see how well this thing runs with this carb, because if this is one of those carbs that's really designed to be used with a pump, well, I don't know how it's going to work out. The other thing that was interesting was this back plate. This back plate has a breather port on it. To me, that sort of indicates that you would use this as the pressure port for a pump, maybe. So obviously no pump components would reside in here, but I'm not sure why else you would put a pressure tap like that on a 2-stroke engine if it wasn't meant to feed pressure pulses to a pump. Because as it is with this open like this, you cannot prime the engine at all. If you go to prime your engine like you normally would with a, obviously your fuel line hooked up here, full tank, open throttle, rotate the prop through, it absolutely positively will not draw fuel into the carb with that open. That's why I found one of these little ball link tools and I jammed it in a piece of silicone tubing and made a plug. Now obviously the other thing I could do is unscrew that and just throw a screw in there, but at this time I didn't want to go doing that. This worked well enough. It plugs the hole and it will draw fuel now. So this is going to be an interesting engine to run, because I'm not entirely sure that A, this carb is stock for this engine, or B, this carb is actually going to work without a pump. But that's one of the things we'll find out. But anyway, let me zoom in here real quick so you can kind of get a little bit closer look at this thing, because it is pretty nice. It does say Special Edition there, and the gold is flaking off the head a bit, but overall this engine is in pretty good shape. So anyway, look forward to seeing some run videos with this individually, obviously, and then once I get into the 60 size 2-stroke comparison, you'll see it again.